How's it going, y'all? TidsFan920 here, and today is a kind of an exciting one, a little bit different from what we usually do. We got M20 coming out soon, so we got not one, not two, not three, not four, five different decks to work with. I threw these together on MTG Goldfish. This is just kind of me spitballing on the first day of spoilers been officially out, not even a full day. But I've kind of theory crafted 5 different decks together, wanted to throw them y'all's way so you can just get some ideas of what I plan on hopefully being able to work with this upcoming standard season. So let's get our brewing hats, throw that on, and get to brewing. Alright, so the first deck we're going to look at here is the one I expect most people to probably be the most excited for. This is Temur Elementals. Looking back in Standard, we really don't have a lot of pre-existing elementals that are really good. We do have Runaway Steamkin, which would be a 4-of in this deck. Anybody's played Standard, you know how powerful, how strong Runaway Steamkin is. So I feel like that's like an easy 4-of include, but from there we kind of gotta get creative with these new cards. We do have 2 Domri. I feel like a lot of the elementals that come in here are really just weak 1-power creatures, so having the Anthem there, this could probably be more than a 2-of, but just starting as a 2-of for now. Again, these are all going to be unoptimized. We're just kind of starting off here. Removal Suite, just 2 Shock, 2 Lightning Strike. I really just want to have like a mass amount of elementals and get like overwhelm the board kind of thing with them is the way I kind of envision it, but again, this could be totally wrong. We're just kind of spitballing here as we go. But let's talk about the fun stuff, the very brand new elementals. For Scorch Spitter, this card was revealed today. It says 1 mana, 1/1. Whenever Scorch Spitter attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. So whether this dies, whether it gets attacked, if it gets that attack in, it's still on 1 damage automatically. So turn 2, that's already 2 damage coming at him there. Elemental, it's a good 2-drop to have. Worth noting, the other 2-drop that was revealed today, the 1 mana one that it's a 1/2, you gain 3 life when you come to the battlefield. I don't have it in your main deck. I envision that being more of a sideboard card, but that could be completely wrong. Maybe for your curve purposes, you want that to be a 1-drop that you have. I just don't have it in my deck personally, but I can see that being a thing. The 2-drop slot has some goodies here. 2 Creeping Trailblazer, other elementals you get +1/+0 as a static here. So imagine going into this and to Domri here, and all of a sudden your little 1-drop fella is swinging 4 all of a sudden. That's pretty good. Other elementals get +1/+0, and you can pay 2 RG. Creeping Trailblazer gets +1/+1 at end of turn for each elemental you control. Again, we're trying to get a lot of these elementals on the battlefield, so having that can be a pretty big creature. Also in the 2-drop spot, maybe this one doesn't belong, but I like it here. Is Lightning Stormkin, blue-red, flying haste, 2/2 elemental. Nothing too fancy, just, it's another thing to get in there, be aggressive, and get damage in real fast. 3-drop slot here, we have the rare Chandra, so I guess middle Chandra, whatever you guys want to call her. Chandra, Acolyte of the Flame. Mainly here, like you all know what this card does already, but the 0 loyalty, create 2 1/1 red elemental tokens here. You're just going to be getting so much value out of that time and time again if they can't get that out, that there's not going to be enough blockers in the world to block all this kind of stuff. And when things like Risen Reef, which we'll get to, the value is just insane. We got 4-up Overgrowth Elemental here. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on another target elemental you control. So this way your pump up things are already out there, preferably like that 2-mana guy would be really good. The Flyer, put that on Lightning Stormkin, could be nice. Also, whenever another creature you control dies, you gain 1 life. If that creature was elemental, put a 1/1 counter on Overgrowth Elemental. That makes this a must-answer threat here because you don't want this thing to kind of start running away and getting really big really fast. We played Standard with Wildgrowth Walker. You know how strong continuous counters kind of thing can be when you're gaining life, so this is something that they're going to want to get rid of real quick. Probably the card that pulls us into Temur more than anything here for Risen Reef, and I know what you're thinking. You look at this is a 3-mana 1/1. Nobody likes those stats. Whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a lane card, you may put it on the battlefield tapped. If you don't put that card on the battlefield, put it into your hand. So both when you play this and for every other elemental that comes on the field here, you're either ramping up a turn by putting a land on the battlefield tapped, or you're drawing a card. So imagine playing this and then you have your Chandra here and you just use your 0 ability, you're getting two elementals come out. That right there is either 2 lands, that's 2 cards drawn. The Risen Reef is a 1/1 that you have to destroy, which is just insane because the card is nuts to me. And overall, like this the elemental thing is like you're doing here just create such an engine, and it's hard to find a better engine than that. So I think this is definitely worth the pull into blue to play elementals. only have one Omnath here, but that could be wrong. I just don't think for the stats that it's that great, and we want to kind of keep our curve lower here. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. It can be nice for picking off an aggressive creature that you need to get rid of, for picking off a planeswalker you may have on the battlefield, or just shooting somebody in the face. Having to draw this off the top for lethal would be sweet. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. I don't think the lands portion of it is going to be too impressive, because hopefully you don't get to that far in a game and you have them dead already. However, with Risen Reef on the battlefield, you're probably going to be putting so many lands into play that could come off more than we think, so this is potentially something good. Finally, the top end here, we have Chandra, Awakened Inferno. You've all seen this card. It's the big bad Chandra. That -3 looks extra nice here, not hurting any of your creatures here, and it's just basically a one-sided 3 damage play win kind of thing. And then if you got some bigger creatures you need to get rid of, something that's a little bit stronger there, that -X can do the job, because not many creatures are going to have more than 6 toughness that you need to get rid of. So that's deck number 1, Temur Elementals. Again, there's probably some fixing I can do here, some, make it a little bit better, but this is my version of it I've got on day 1 here without seeing anybody else's list, so hopefully you guys like that. Let's move on to the next one. So deck number 2 we got here, just some Mardu Aggro. People try to make Judith and Judith deck work a lot, and it's it's undeniable if you played against them. Like sometimes they just pop off and they murdered you real fast, and it feels bad. But it's been missing a few things here, and I think this deck actually got a lot of good tools. So we'll quickly go over what was in the deck before. 4 Gutter Bones. Gutter Bones is a great 2-for-1 recursion threat. Really hard to get rid of, just a good reliable card. 4 Cruel Celebrant. Not sure if I really want this in here, because I'm not trying to be an Aristocrats deck, which is why there's no Priest of Forgotten Gods in the main. So this actually may be the wrong call here, but I think just having this here is a good kind of swing in life and hurt the opponent. 4 Dreadhorde Butcher, a must-answer threat, something if you can do this on the play, especially and start swinging, like the more it goes on, it just gets so deadly. 3 Judith. Judith's that girl, She's not seen her play in Standard like everybody thought she would, but she's still just a super strong card. And I know anytime I'm playing against her, I hate to see her. But I feel like this deck got some more must-answer threats, so that they can't just focus on Judith now. Going Mardu, we do get access to Tajik, Legion's Edge. Not the greatest card, one that's not seen a ton of Standard play, but I think in this kind of shell could be nice. Just being able to protect some of your stuff here. We got 3 of the Sword and Vengeful Bloodlord. Being able to give all your attacking creatures lifelink is going to be really nice in those mono red or aggressive matchups. Being able to get stuff back especially is huge for this, because you have some 3-mana stuff that we really want to get back. You have Tajik, you have Judith, and then we'll get to some other stuff here a little bit later. Spells, not too many, just 2 cast down. We can occasionally need some unconditional removal, and that'll be a good one. I'm going all 4. We're going big time. 4 heroic reinforcements. Anybody's been on the wrong side of heroic reinforcements know how bad it is, and this is one of those cards you can just win a game out of nowhere. So if anybody's played against this, you know how bad of a beating this can be. But the reason you're here, let's get to the new stuff. In the 1-drop slot, Gutter Bones has a friend now. This is Knight of the Ebon Legion. 1/2 right off the bat, not terrible stats. You can play 2 in a black. It gets +3/+3 and gains Death Touch into the turn. So that is a 4/5 for 1 mana 4/5. That ain't too bad. And conveniently has a second trigger at the beginning of your end step. If a player lost 4 or more life this turn, put a 1/1 counter on this card. So when you pump this and get in with a swing with it, if they don't block, you're automatically getting a counter on there at the end of step. That's pretty good. We have 2 Embodiment of Agonies. This one, I'm not quite sure if it's like the way to go. For those of you who haven't seen it for some reason, living under a rock, which is cool. Rocks are comfy. Patrick Starr lived under a rock. Patrick Hay. Flying Death Touch 0/0. Embodiment of Agonies enters the battlefield with a 1/1/1 counter on it for each different mana cost among non-target creatures you control in your graveyard, non-land cards in your graveyard. I swear I can spell. Take a look at these mana costs here. We literally have one card that shares the same cost as another one. So pretty much anything that's in your graveyard that's different is going to be getting counters on this thing. Is that good enough? I don't know, but the whole point of this is to test out when it comes out and just kind of see what's good, so I want to try it out. The big get of this whole deck, though, Rotting Regisaur. I think this card is incredible. 3 mana for a 7/6 is insane. That's another 3-drop that they're going to have to kill, and like, you know me, I'm like a big Gruul fan at heart. I don't know how the hell I'm answering that thing. It's a 7/6. What do you do? And one little thing, like yes, you don't want to be discarding cards, but this deck tries you're trying to shit your hand out as fast as you can, pardon my French, and just play a bunch of stuff on the battlefield. So I feel like this card can be really good there. One cute little thing here, we played 4 Gutter Bones in the deck. I am totally fine all day to pitch a Gutter Bones, swing in for 7, and then buy that boy right back and cast him if I can. That seems like good value. And finally, at the very, very top end, I'm going to try out 2 Cavalier of Night. 4/5 lifelink for 5. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature, and we do have some good creatures to sack here. When you do, target opponent, destroy target creature and opponent controls. So some unconditional removal there is pretty good. When Cavalier of Night dies, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So again, this is just another way to get back those 3 mana creatures. A Rotting Regisaur if we need the beats in, another Judith if we need that extra damage, or a Tajik if we need some protection. Kind of toolboxing away. But I think Mardu Aggro got some toys here and becomes a lot better, and I'm very curious to play with this and see how it goes. Now, let's go to deck number 3. 3 for Dale. Alright, so deck number 3, and probably the one that is the most near and dear to my heart right now, because y'all know I love Gruul, is some Gruul Midrange. So we're still keeping a big base package here of what we had before, where we're like, this deck is so solid you don't want to change a lot. But I'll talk a little bit about what we are changing. 4 Elves, 4 Spellbreaker, 3 Phoenix. You know, pretty set in stone kind of thing here. Phoenix is still a good card, but it's kind of been falling out of favor for me, at least when playing, because 3 Fairy bouncing that thing is the worst feeling in the world. And it's just people are finding ways to answer that more and more. But it's still going to do 3 up because it's still also just a powerhouse of cards a lot of times. I'm still running 11 Planeswalkers. We got the full 4 of Domri. Maybe that needs to go down a little bit, but Domri's just always something I want to see on 3 and get that out of there. Trying out one of Big Domri, been seeing people sort of gravitate that way lately in Gruul and want to play that. So I think giving some of these new creatures here haste would be really, really good. 3 Nissa, 3 Sarkhan, you guys know how powerful these cards are. Nothing's new or changed here. In the spells category, kind of like my current deck right now in Standard, we got 4 Shock, 2 Lightning Strikes, nothing that you've not seen before. Pretty standard stuff for Gruul, but let's talk about the new boys. The one that I'm most excited for, which I haven't seen anybody talking about, Marauding Raptor here seems amazing. In the 2-drop slot, this would replace Thorn Lieutenant that I have in currently, or Growth Chamber Guardian. Creature spells you control, you cast, cost 1 less to cast. That's already sweet, so we're getting turn 3 Phoenix, turn 3, well, you know, we'll talk about the Ceratops here at the bottom a little bit. The bottom clause is weird, so whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control with Marauding Raptor, deals 2 damage to it. If Dinosaur is dealt damage this way, Marauding Raptor gets +2/+0 in a turn. That may seem kind of weird, but I think just having your creatures cost less is pretty good. And if you look, we're not playing Legion Warboss the main anymore. That card's just been getting answered every time I play it lately. I think people have kind of wisened up when they're playing Shocks and stuff like that, where they can just get rid of it. Having your creatures cost a lot less, though, seems really good in this deck. And when you have things like Nissa, where you can cheat on your mana as well, Domri and both Domris to be able to ramp and add mana, all of a sudden, like, you're getting to play a lot of stuff and play some big stuff and just be really efficient with your mana. So I am curious to try this out. Again, this may not be the card that we want it to be, but I'm going to try it out. For a fun card here, Voracious Hydra actually I think can be sweet in this deck. For one, Raptors will make you cost a little bit less. That's cool, right? We have all these ramp things here, but with the Nissa, can you imagine the creatures we can play with this? Like, you're going to get so many counters on this thing, and then you have it come in and either double the amount of counters or just have it fight and remove anything in existence, I would imagine. It seems really strong. Being able to haste that thing out, too, would be stupid. But I feel like there's just too many good things going on with this card to not want to try it, and it does have trample, so it avoids the kind of thing that a lot of Hydras have, where you make these big old dummies and they kind of just get chunk blocked by little scroll tokens or something. That ain't happening anymore. So this could be a fun card, and I'm all about trying it out. Lastly, for the new cards here, Shifting Ceratops. I think this is better than Spellbreaker in a lot of places, just because, or sorry, not Spellbreaker, but Nullhide Feryx. Reason being, we play the 11 Planeswalkers and some non-creature spells. We don't want to like make your stuff cost too much more. This can be counter protection from blue, so playing this down, you don't have to worry about little 3 fairy bouncing or anything like that. So it's already a 5/4 for 4 that can't be countered and has protection. That's pretty good. On top of that, for 1 additional green, target it gains reach, trample, or haste. That's huge. Top decking this off the top and having that 1 extra green to swing 5 at him haste, that's great. There's no other creature in the current rule deck that can just swing out like that. Giving this trample to get that last bit of damage through if you need to is also huge. And finally, the reach I think is going to be really underrated. I know when I'm playing Gruul, especially in a mirror match, somebody throws down a 5/5 Hellkite. I don't have a lot of ways to get rid of that. You know, we have Collision Colossus to kind of do that kind of thing, but otherwise there's not a lot of answers there. So having this be able to just get up, swat it down, and trade with it kind of thing, that's pretty good. So I'm excited for this inclusion in the deck. I don't think we want too many new cards from the new set here, but I think this is a pretty good starting point and where I look to kind of be at when we have this come out and test around with it. On to deck number 4. Deck number 4, a deck that I think could be pretty strong here, and one that I'm not playing around with too much, but I think it has some really, really good toys here, is Orzhov Knights. You know, it had its heyday back in Dominaria when it first came out, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit, but I think it may be back here. You got your 4 of Knight of Grace and your 4 Knight of Malice and 4 Benelish Marshal. All that's like, you know you're going to see those cards, right? You got your big strong Knights, that's just a thing. 2 Seraph of the Scales because it's own color and it's just a really good, hard to deal with threat, and it's usually a value engine once you get it down there. As far as Planeswalker side, we got 3 Gideon Blackblade. Just a really, anybody's played against Gideon knows how good it can be. It's not really found a good place in the meta because the only decks that could really go in was something like White Weenie, but you're just not getting that much advantage pumping little bitty creatures here. So here we have some more sizable creatures in the deck that can give this more value. Sorin here, you know, you got a way to bring back some of your other creatures, which we'll talk about some other ones here later, but Sorin being able to give everything lifelink, being able to ping things if we need to, and just get stuff back out of the graveyard seems huge. Removal spells, got 2 Mortify, 2 Oath of Kaya, you know, nothing too exciting, just general Orzhov things. Playing 4 History, because if you're playing nice, you're absolutely going to play 4 History. That's just, you don't even think twice about that. But again, the reason y'all are here, let's look at the new stuff. 4 Knight of the Ebon Legion, our boy makes his way back again, a 1-drop Knight. Vampire also, for anybody interested in vampire shenanigans. I'm not personally, but I know you people are out there. It's just another good Knight that gets pumped by everything with a History of Benalia, and just something good that can be a pretty strong source of damage here when they're least expecting it. The best addition to the deck that I think this got though is Corpse Knight. For those of you who haven't seen it, white-black 2/2, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. That's it. That's simple. Turn 2 this into turn 3 History, you're getting a 2/2 on the battlefield and pinging them. And then from there, like, you're just playing your additional Knights, you're getting your value and all the whole way, but without even attacking, you're damaging them. That seems real dumb. I'm very excited for this card. I think this is just what this archetype really needed to get that extra little point of damage in there, that extra oomph that it needed. A lot of times it's kind of thinking around of gas, and this is just another way to reach them for more damage. And finally, I've liked a lot of these Knights that come out, but I think this is one that looks really good in this deck here. It's an Elemental Knight. 4/5 lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target creature opponent controls. So, you know, we have our tokens here, little 2/2 vigilance tokens. We have things we don't really mind to sacrifice. When it dies, return target creature for converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So just like the Mardu, when we know what this card does, but all of a sudden you're getting you're probably always want to get History of Benalia, get Benelish Marshal back, but getting this back when it dies and then having like your whole team pump again. That's value. That seems so good. And also, there's been 2 colors here. We just play for the Temple of Silence. Just another way to kind of scry and look for better answers here, because I think you're really focused on being on curve here. But the mana is easy enough where you don't mind to play this now and then and play like another 2-drop or something. But yeah, I think Orzhov Knights has a lot of potential and a lot of strong plays here. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the deck. Finally, let's go to the very last one, deck number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so the final deck, the one that I'm admittedly the least knowing about, is Naya Feather. I played this a little bit in one of my previous videos and had some success with it. So we still have the core here. I've got 2 Adanto Vanguard now, 4 Dreadhorde Arcanist, because you want that to be a 4 of, get those good spells back. And now it's got even more 1-minute spells grab out of there, which is great. 10th District Legionnaire, one of those cards that can just run away with the game if it's not unchecked. 4 Feather, the whole reason we're playing the deck, you guys know why we're playing Feather. Gruul Spellbreaker, one of the good reasons to go into green, just get you another, it's a great body. Anybody that's played Gruul knows how good Gruul Spellbreaker is. And went down to 1 Aurelia. I don't think I want to take it out completely, but it's still something I want to have at least 1 up in the deck. So things this deck got here, we have 4 God's Willing now. If anybody played back in Theros, played any of the kind of like heroic decks, they know how good and how just absolute much of a pain God's Willing is to play around. A lot of times you're just blanking whatever kind of removal spells they have. You're getting a scry and find some more stuff. And this deck is just constantly, it's the biggest scry baby I've ever seen. You're going to just constantly look for your value and rotate and just see what's coming up next. And a lot of times, like, I just feel like you know what you're drawing off the top almost every time. I'm very excited to see this deck in action. It seems like one that, God's willing, was a great gift for this deck. Still a 3 Reckless Rage, 3 Shock. Maybe that number needs to change a little bit. And 2 Collision Colossus. The one ad from the new set besides God's Willing that I have in here, which I think this card's good, but I've been told maybe it's not. Sky Knight Vanguard at 2, a 1/2 flyer. Whenever it attacks, it creates a 1/1 white soldier creature token that's tapped and attacking. It's very notable. This token doesn't go away. This token's staying here the whole time. I think the card's neat, and this gives you like another threat that, hey, you've got to answer this. You got to do something with this right now, or it's going to take over a game. So I'm not sure if it fits in this deck or not, but we definitely have the color requirements and everything to play it, so I want to at least give it a shot. But that's the last one of the deck of the day I've got here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing what everyone else decides to brew. If you have any suggestions or comments on what I've done, I would love to hear them. But I'm ready for M20 to be out. I'm looking forward to building some of this stuff and just start smashing around on Arena. If you enjoyed the video or you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, comment, just let me know things I can improve on, things I'm doing. But thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing y'all in M20. See you next time. Bye-bye.